All right, everybody, welcome to another racing night here at now Martinsville Speedway for the Sunday Night East Coast Touring Modified Series presented by Martin Sports Apparel. Running this thing solo tonight, and you guys got a new voice and new face in the booth here, Dustin and Stasher. Unavailable for this evening. I got Dustin working behind the scenes, but Stash is not here, so you'll be hearing my voice all by his lonesome for the entire race here in the AdminBoxx 65. Once again, this series presented by Martin Sports Apparel. And, going over the practice charts right now, we got about 23, 24 drivers currently taking time, and everyone's running really close to each other. It's looking to be a pretty good race so far, at least in the practice session that I'm watching here. We got Caden Tufts currently leading the position right now at an 18.119. And you got about 5 drivers within just a couple of tenths of him, more like 10 drivers rather. So should be a really fun race tonight for everybody here. But again, my name is Jeremy. They know me by J Stan. So a little bit different change up here, but it's all good. We got about 5, actually more like 7-8 minutes before we hit qualifying. Going through here, I want to give a quick shout out before we head up to the qualifying sessions for tonight. I want to go over all of our sponsors. First and foremost, I like to thank them up front because, without them, we're not doing this for everybody out here, especially in the Nerditudes world, watching over on YouTube or Twitch or wherever you're finding your Nerditudes content. So, first and foremost, Martin Sports Apparel, the premier sponsor for tonight's event, as it is each and every Sunday. Small company with a big time product, as Dustin likes to call it. So it's a really good, solid apparel company who's doing big things in a short amount of time. And in theory, excellent shirts, excellent racing gloves. Some drivers have them out there tonight. I know Joseph Mitchell's rocking one for sure. A few other ones out there. I think Miles had a set on. I'm still waiting on mine. I got one of their shirts, super comfortable stuff. So check them out, martinsportsapparel.com. And then we have AdminBoxx as well. Comes nice and handy with admin commands for any type of league who has admins who are looking to make their jobs a little bit easier. AdminBoxx is the way to go. Check their website out and find them on Facebook. And just a great product overall there. And then you got Stay Tuned Sports Podcast. Their podcast, it's a little bit different take than what you're usually hearing from like a normal podcast, all about your esports and just sports in general, really. They put a pretty interesting product out there. I've been honed onto them for the past couple months, and just go check them out for yourselves. It's a really good product, and they're also the sponsor of the Lucky Dog Award as well. So, which we'll probably see a couple of those tonight with a big field and Martinsville being one of those tracks that kind of produce a lot of cautions, at least in my experience watching races. New experience with this league, but we'll see how that goes. And then, of course, we got our Nerditude sponsors as well, McConeySetupShop.com. High quality premier setups across the board, no matter what car or what kind of series, dirt, asphalt, short track, road course, it doesn't matter. Excellent products, and they also have a paint shop as well. So McConeySetupShops.com, and then you have iRacing, iFlag as well. Their product is kind of like putting, how you see like the caution lights and everything on the catch fence around each and every NASCAR track anyways. That brings that to your cockpit, inside your house, inside your sim rig. It's pretty neat. I got one, and it's the lights, how they flash, are so bright, and it makes it feel like you're at the track. You have your setup where if it's got a motion sensor, if you got a butt kicker underneath the seat, where your car, it feels like you're driving a car. And then you have the racetrack sitting next to you with the lights flashing. It's kind of a cool experience. So iRacingIFlag.com. Go check them out as well. And then the last one I just mentioned was Butt Kicker as well. ButtKicker.com. We have a promotion code NerdTV for 20% off on their product as well. It's like a D-Box experience sitting underneath your seat at home. So if you never felt like if you've never driven a race car before, you put that underneath your seat, and it feels like you're in the actual car. So definitely go check them out. The www.thebuttkicker.com /AFF =35. That's the link you want to use, and then use Nerd TV at checkout to secure that 20% off on your entire purchase. Got about 3 minutes left in practice now before we head over to qualifying. Caden Tuft, I did mention, he's already picked up 5/1000ths of a second over Rayson Vernon, who's in second place right now at just exactly a half a hundredth of a second. Behind him, you have Jeffrey Clifton here sitting in third at a 2:30. Brad Carpenter at a 2:47, and a Campbell Delaney at a 2:62. So they're all, within a tenth or two of each other. All the way back to, was that about 22nd, 23rd, we got Skylar Sheridan at a 19.021. Minus him, everybody else is in the 18s within a half a second for the most part. So should be, like I said, a pretty tight race here. But with my experiences, I've seen quite a few things, quite a weird things happen at Martinsville. So you guys are going to be in for a good treat at Martinsville. So once again, if you're just now tuning in, my name is Jeremy, taking over for Stash and Dustin. Kind of wanting to do this myself here, kind of asking for a little bit of a punishment, but no other way to get some good practice than doing this all by yourself. But going through the list here a little bit more, I've worked with Miles Morris. He's at an 18.412. I've run with him currently on a Tuesday series, and I know he's a high-class quality driver, and I've seen a couple of these other names out here as well, just in the open sessions on iRacing. So I know a lot of these drivers just by that sake, and they're all high-quality drivers. So I'm excited, guys. I'm excited. Hopefully you are as well. Got about now 1 minute left, and we're going to see qualifying take over, and that's when you're going to see my face come off the screen and have you guys just enjoy the cars on the track for the most part. And got a little wreck there in the back stretch currently, and these guys are pushing the issue the last minute in practice, and this is a big fit. This actually is the most cars that the series has had since the drop of the green flag on race number 1. They usually average about 15 to 16 cars, and we're sitting about 23, it looks like, at the moment. So these guys know they have to get their set dialed in, and you can't really do that until you find that edge, right? So you'll see a lot of more wrecks usually later on in practice to kind of find that edge, and so they know how far to push it. With 65 miles here at this track, it goes by kind of quick, so you really want to make sure your stuff's dialed in. So, yeah. So, just getting word here, just kind of catching up on everything. I got Rayson Vernon, last week's winner, I do believe. And he's, actually, I correct myself. He won the season opener, for that matter, and he's sitting there currently, in second place. So, he's trying to get a second win on the charts here. But qualifying is in here, so we're going to go ahead and let you guys just kind of watch qualifying. Let them do their thing. Take me off the screen so we can get the cars on track, which is what your guys are really here for the most part. Now, because you never seen me before. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it so far at this time. But I'm going to keep my eyes on Caden Tufts. He's been leading practice the whole half hour. So he's looking a little loose so far in this qualifying warm up here. These tires are pretty cold, and these cars have a lot of grip if you haven't driven one before, but those tires have to warm up before you find that grip. Sets it sail. Nice turn 1 and 2 there for Caden. Gonna get a good entrance into turn number 3. Actually, nope. He's gonna back that up and take lap number 1 here. Lap number 2, turn 3 and 4, just a little too wide there, it looked like. So actually, we got 3 laps here, so he's going to take one last lap here and get that most grip in his tires he can. Entering turn number 3, sets it in real nice. Almost hugs the curb there. Exiting turn number 4, those brakes are already glowing orange. That means those things are being used up real quick. Good thing iRacing doesn't have too much of a breakaway issue, but it does affect your tire temps in the front too. So if you try to overcook those entrances over and over and over, for the course of the 65 miles, and that could really tighten up your machine and give you some problems. But with the track being only 68 degrees, it should not be too much of a problem, and the sun's kind of starting to set here. Kind of about 8 o'clock Eastern time inside the game here, so you will see the sun drop all the way before green flag is out, or before the track flag is out rather. But so far on the qualifying charts, Caden's still holding the top spot by only 1/100th of a second over Campbell Delaney. He's sitting about 5th or so in practice. Comes in at 2nd place so far, and 3/1000ths behind him is Racing Vernon, which he just actually took the top spot, as I was just mentioning him, at a 2:03. Not as fast as the fastest practice time, but enough right now anyways, with about 2 minutes left in qualifying to take over the top spot over Caden, who I'd mentioned, who was bringing in first place in the practice charts the whole entire half hour or so. So we got a couple more drivers still on track doing their thing before we hit the heat race number 1. Looks like the charts haven't moved here as the laps are winding down for everybody. Racing Vernon looking like he's going to be sitting pretty in heat race number 1 with that top spot at the moment. You got Jeffrey Clifton currently sitting in 4th at a 268. Ken Zeems at a 277. Brad Carpenter at a 295, certain in 7th place. Jason Cameron Jr., 18,388 and 8th. Liam Atwood, 9th at a 462. 10th place right now, Aiden Hill at a 464. And then another Aiden with a Y instead of an I. He's sitting in a 475 there. Looks like currently at 11th. Qualifying looks like one driver. No, looks like all the drivers, I think, at this time have taken the qualifying. I don't see anybody else currently on track unless we have a late person entering the track, but it does not look like it to me. So at the time being, looks like we have Vernon going to be taking your top spot for this evening. He's going to be leading the field in heat race number 1, and then Caden Tufts will be leading the field in heat race number 2. Which, let me get a total car count here for you guys so we know exactly what the fields are going to look like. $20 cars currently have taken time right now. We have a few others currently sitting in the server, not taking time. I don't see anybody else on the track, though, so at this time, where it looks like it's going to be split into 2 10-car fields, unless some people just do not want to qualify, which in Martinsville is one of those tracks where I feel like you're going to need that track position, but if they elect not to, Richard Malagani is going to try to get a really late time here, real too late, because it just kicked over to heat race number 1, so Richard made a really late decision, or I don't know what he was trying there, but he just got onto the track, and it's a no qualifying time for him. So, heat race number 1 will be Grid X. We're going to have 3 heats. The game had preset for 2, but looks like we're going to break it down into 3 heats for you guys this evening. Heat race number 1 is going to consist of 6 drivers. And we're going to go over that for you right now. Racing Vernon, like I said, is going to take the top spot there. Ken Zeems is going to be in 2nd place. Aiden Hill is going to take 3rd place. 4th place is Joshua Clemens. 5th place will be Joseph Mitchell. In 6th place, who did not take that qualifying time at the last second, that would be Richard Malagani. This information is brought to you by AdminBoxx. I'm presenting you all the race information for the pre-race tonight. Just going to wait. And the grid is also presented by Martin Sports as well, Martin Sports Apparel. So I'm just waiting on the pace truck to get going here. I think there's going to be 2 pace laps before we take the green flag. Each heat race will be 10 laps, 6 kick over to the feature, and then of course you'll have your big main event here a little bit later on after the 3 heat races are over for the 65-mile race tonight, or 65 laps. I do apologize. Kept saying miles, but it is laps. 65 laps will be for this evening. So right now. I expect this race to go pretty solid. These 3 heat races, you kind of want to get that track position, like I said. The track positions, a lot of short tracks, it's key. But I feel like Martinsville, to me, means more than some other tracks, just because it's such a fast straightaway compared to most others, and you have to really get on the brake. And so, if you're not in the front, maybe you actually want to start in the back, because I have been run over quite a few times. But the front, typically, when you can control the field, I feel like that's where you're going to want to be. And I just feel like overall, in my experiences here, this is probably the best way to be. So we got about 3/4 of a lap left, and really digging that driver's suit from Racing Vernon. Almost looks like he's racing shirtless with his suit right there. I think it is actually shirtless. That's kind of cool. Kind of unique there. I've seen that for the pit crew, but not seen that for, I don't know if that actually passed code or not. But anyways, pace truck is down waiting for Racing Vernon to take the green flag. Green flag is in the air for the 10 laps in heat race number 1 with a good launch from Racing Vernon. Gets it single file entering turn number 1. 90 car shoots way up the track. There is going to fall back to 3rd and maybe almost 4th. That'd be Ken Zeems. He does fall back into 4th as Joseph Mitchell does take over the 3rd spot there with a nice easy pass in turn number 3. We got Racing Vernon taking about a 2-length advantage over Aiden Hill, who's now got his eyes sets for first place on Racing Vernon. And then it looks like Ken Zeems wants his spot back, at least in 3rd place. He is going to be right on the tail there of Joseph Mitchell. And then Richard Malagani in 5th and Joshua Clemens in 6th. They kind of round out all single file at this point in time. Lap number 3 of 10. Racing Vernon out to about a 5 to 6 car length advantage over Hayden Hill at this time. Really the action at the moment is going to be 3rd and 4th place here with Joseph Mitchell and Ken Zeems. Ken Zeems looking like he's getting a really good exit off the corner. It's just Mitchell's kind of blocking that entrance there, so to speak. And I feel like this is where the really tricky part of Martinsville is, because you have all that time to kind of block that entrance there, and as you know, there's no grip on the high side to really pass, especially with these cars. It's all single file on the bottom. So definitely gonna have to get that figured out to get some passing going. Get a really good launch on the exit is the only real way to make that kind of thing happen. You almost see contact from the wall from Richard Malagani. Kind of got tail loose there, exiting turn number 2. And you see Ken Zeems there right now with a really good launch, and going to enter low on Joseph Mitchell, and Joseph actually digs in a little too deep and actually sticks it. Nope. Really late exit there. Early in the gas pedal, had to really check up. Ken Zeems had a good chance at it, but Joseph Mitchell throws it in deep and corrects his mistake from turn number 2, regains 3rd place. And that's going to widen out even Racing Vernon and Aiden Hill for their 1st and 2nd place. And Joseph got some huge pressure coming on him right now, and that's going to bring Richard Malagani also back into the picture as we got a little 3-car battle for you here with 3 laps to go. In heat race number 1, they are nose to tail right now. Joseph Mitchell, huge amount of pressure. Get some good racing practice. You're not done if you wreck on this thing, but you definitely want that track position. Ken Zeems is really on that tail right now, getting another really solid exit there off of turn number 4. Going to take the inside of Joseph Mitchell side by side. He slides up just enough, but gets on the brakes a little, hits the curbing and still kept it going. Still side by side. Joseph Mitchell putting some excellent pressure on the top side, and once again, he's found some grip there in that middle line in turn number 3, allowing him to hold that position. You see the white flag. Richard Malagani is going to take over 5th place here, at least try, or 4th place. He's going to try to, nope, really wide there, gets tight, cannot do it. They all single file out here on the final lap. And it looks like we're going to have Racing Vernon take the win here with Aiden Hill 2nd, Joseph Mitchell 3rd, Ken Zeems 4th, Malagani in 5th, and Joshua Clemens in 6th. And that'll do it for heat race number 1. Heat race number 2, guys, is going to be 1st place with Caden Tufts. 2nd place will be Brad Carpenter. 3rd place will be Aiden Christensen. 4th place will be Miles Morris. 5th place will be Aiden McDonald. And Garrett Austin takes grid, which looks like he does. He's one of those drivers who did not take a practice or qualifying time. So this is the first time we're going to really see him on track. So really curious to see how that car is going to work. We have no idea what his speed looks like, but really nice looking car there. Needless to say, but they're going to take their little warm up here, and we'll get 10 laps of heat race number 2 underway. And actually, it looks like there's going to be a 4th heat race. Yeah, it looks like we have 4 heat races. I said 3 earlier, but they extended it out to 4 because of the amount of drivers tonight. So 4 heat races, 6 drivers, and will take position in each one, which of course is the entire field. So will not be broken down. No one will miss the main event. They're all going to be here for you guys for the full 65 laps and the AdminBoxx 65 here. I got about 3/4 of a lap left. Little dicey here. Got Aiden McDonald getting a little bit of a bump from the back from, looks like, Aiden McDonald's giving the bumps here on the 24 there. On his bumper again. He's wanting to go. He's looking really antsy here. And waiting for Caden to press the go pedal. Green flag is out. They are underway. Pretty decent launch there for the top 2, and you got the 24 there on the bottom. Gonna easily take 2nd place, and looks like we already have a car, 2 cars into the wall here early on. Looks like 4th place Miles Morrison got clipped hard in the back by the 13. Looks like of Aiden McDonald, and then Austin Garrett had to get on the binders hard, and he spun out as well. It's actually 1 car in the wall and 1 car sideways. And the 13 who initiated that wreck, he kind of made it out. And actually, as I go back live to him, he got loose in turn number 1 the very next lap. So he's showing a little bit of issues as well. So this is kind of a crazy start here to heat race number 2. The top 3 cars are, clean as they can be, and they got a little bit of pressure from 2nd place. Aiden Christensen under fire from Brad Carpenter in that green Bob's machine. Gets really loose there on the exit of turn number 4. Looks like he's going to drive it in pretty decent there. Got the 24 getting on the curb there, which these curbs are so tall, man. They really just upset the car. So Aiden Christian really needs to not do that to keep his car in 2nd place, because right now Brad is all over Aiden's bumper here, just as we saw with Joseph Mitchell and Ken on that first heat race. Just knows the talent. It's just bringing Caden Tufts out there about almost a 10-car length advantage at this point in time. All by his lonesome right now. We got everybody else just kind of really single-filed out. We got Garrett Austin, who didn't make a single practice time. He's currently getting his tires changed by his crew. So his little practice that he was going to have here didn't really come into fruition, but looks like Aiden's actually gained a couple of car lengths coming up to your leader there on Caden Tufts, entering lap number 7. It won't be enough unless Caden makes a mistake of some kind, but other than that, Brad Carpenter still gets a really good launch on the exit of turn number 2, just not enough as Aiden throws it deep into the corner. Is able to stick it though on the bottom there at turn number 4, and we've got 3 laps to go left in heat race number 2. Brad still putting heavy pressure. It gets to the bottom of the 24 this time around. Will he get around Aiden entering turn number 3? We see Joseph make this top side work. Not as strong for Aiden this time, as Brad is there. Going to hold the inside line. Entering turn number 1 this time. Aiden gives him plenty of space. Oh, Brad slides up a little bit. Had to really check up, and that's going to give up the entire spot there. Aiden will resume in 2nd place, entering the final lap of heat race number 2. And this just really just spaced out Caden as he's now on the back end of Aiden McDonald, trying to lap him down for the heat race number 2. One more chance here for Brad as he gets a really good chance here. Aiden checked up a little bit. He's not going to drive it in too deep here, as he knows it's just for position for the main race, and safely takes it home. So Caden's going to be 1st, Aiden Christensen 2nd, Brad Carpenter 3rd, Miles Morse will be taken home 4th, Aiden McDonald in 5th, and Garrett Austin's going to round out the field for heat race number 2. And this will get you guys all set up here for heat race number 3 here in just a moment. As we see the track transition right now for heat race number 3. 8:30 Eastern Standard Time at Martinsville Speedway right now. So they'll be completely underneath the lights as they take the green flag for the AdminBoxx 65. To go over the grid for heat race number 3, you got Campbell Delaney, and you got second place of Jason Cameron Jr. Third place, Tyler Green. Fourth place, Preston DeMello. Fifth place will be Kyle White. And sixth place will be Andrew Major. Andrew, another one of those guys who did not take the qualifying time. He kind of just wanted to start in the back. Maybe his practice time wasn't too bad. He ran an 18.7. I know the leaders were at an 18.1. So he's not the fastest car out there. And maybe that's why he liked not to do the qualifying, because he just wants to get a little more practice and see how this car feels before going on to the main event tonight for the 65 laps. But we'll find out what his speed looks like. Did not get to see what Garrett Austin had in store for us. We'll see if Andrew can kind of upset these guys and kind of show them, qualifying doesn't really mean much and prove most of us wrong, including myself, which for me it happens quite often. So pace lights are out on the pace truck rather. I expect this one to be a little bit calmer than heat race number 2. Heat race number 2 provided some early action, but they got it straightened out. Top 3 put on a pretty good performance overall. Loving to see that Nerditude's car out there in the number 21, Jason Cameron. Appreciate that, man. That car looks nice. Pace truck is down. Waiting for the green flag to come out. Campbell ready to hit the go pedal once again. Green flag is out. Heat race number 3 underway, and a really good launch there. Holy cow, by Tyler Green. Just quickly gets into second place, and we see the Nerditude's machine get really high there. And they got a car in the wall as well in the back. Andrew Major, the person who did not qualify, heavy contact on the exit of turn number 2. That car slides into turn number 3. That car is not looking all that good at the moment. More contact to the outside wall there and spins out on the front stretch. Heavy damage to the suspension. I think that car is going to be done for the heat race. They got some repairs to do to get that thing up and running for the main race tonight. Kyle White's in 5th, and then Jason Cameron, who started 2nd, dropped back to 4th really quick with that really high entrance into turn number 1 and 2. Just no grip up there. The marbles have already kind of set. We see another guy, that was Kyle White, up there on the top. Just hit the wall in the entrance turn number 1 and 2, and he just really overdrove the entrance there and just slid. Just couldn't do anything with it. But the race for the lead here in heat race number 3 is a little bit closer. As you see, the top 4 cars all within one camera pane together here. Campbell Delaney only about 2 car lengths over Tyler Green, who had an excellent restart. Went from 3rd to almost 1st within a lap. Just kind of hugged it. But Campbell right now still just a little bit stronger on exit, which is the difference. And we're going to see Jason Cameron back and forth, going to try to take 3rd place over, which he does so successfully. He had a really bad turn number 1, but outside of that, he has shown some strong speed as he just clears Preston DeMello right there with no problem entering turn number 3. It looks like Jason's got some really strong exit speed, which is going to be awesome for this for the 65 lapper. If we can do something like that off the exit of these corners, these straightaways are so long. The speed on the exit is so important to all these drivers to get anywhere in the top 5, especially when you got a 20-car field, it looks like, going to be starting tonight. But we did see Garrett Austin do leave the track. The guy from heat race number 2, looks like that car was too damaged, not repairable. He is out of tonight's event. Going back to the leader, Campbell Delaney. He's got 2 laps left before we see the checker flags here in heat race number 3. As he actually pulled up a little bit of extra ground over Tyler Green, as it's starting to show that the tire wear is kind of taking effect, really. Campbell's kind of sliding up just a little in the center of the corner, but still some overall great exit speed. Jason Cameron kind of hunting down Tyler, but it won't be enough. We do see the white flag out. Half a lap to go for these guys as they're going to be entering turn number 3 at this time. Nice and smooth. Exit of turn number 4. Campbell Delaney is going to take the checker flag for heat race number 3. Tyler Green in 2nd. Jason Cameron in 3rd. Preston DeMello in 4th. Kyle White in 5th. And then the 6th place car, Andrew Major, had to park it early with that suspension damage done to the right side of the car after he had slapped the wall twice. And this now brings everybody to the final heat race of this evening, which, as the grid shows me right now, we have 6 cars again on this one. Jeffrey Clifton will be taking the top spot. Got Liam Atwood in 2nd. Jacob Torman in 3rd. Devin Medeiros in 4th. Robert Gray in 5th. And Skylar Sheridan in 6th place. I do believe I said his last name incorrect earlier, so I do apologize. I do believe it is Sheridan. Jennifer on that, and you see me taking the line up there behind the pace truck for the final heat race of this evening. Again, another. You see here. Yeah, all 6 of these cars actually did take their qualifying time, it looks like, at least on my page here. So everyone has a good feel of what their cars feel like entering this heat race, and no really surprise they both had some good amount of laps turned. And before we actually take the green flag for the final heat race of this evening, I want to give a quick shout out to AdminBoxx once again. AdminBoxx being a race controls best friend. Easy box controls, instead of having to type in codes manually or right clicking on names and trying to find which selection. You have a quick hot box selection with AdminBoxx. So for any admin out there who wants to make their jobs a lot easier, please go visit their product, visit their website, AdminBoxx, and then also on Facebook as well. Definitely recommend them for sure. But anyways, green flag is out here. Jeffrey Clifton with a really good start. 2nd place, not really such a good start there. Liam Atwood, he's going to be entering really high again. It seems like it's a trend here for the 2nd place car to enter in really high. I don't know if it's out of safety or whatnot, but it drops him back to 4th once again. We've seen this almost every heat race. He dives it in deep and hits the back of Devin Medeiros. Able to keep it straight. Just slight contact there, no problem at all. Bumper to bumper, it's all good. These cars don't have a front bumper. Oh, we see Jacob Torman there in 2nd get really loose on the exit of turn number 2. It's going to bring the 12 of Devin to his outside, but typically the outside doesn't have any grip unless your name's Joseph Mitchell, at least from my initial observations here. But Devin going to put on some strong pressure here on the 31 of Jacob Torman. Jacob, great launch on the exit of turn number 2, but Devin's not finished with him yet as he gets a nice run entering turn number 3. Oh, the 2 behind himself spins and heavy into the inside wall of Liam Atwood, who started in 2nd place. That engine has smoke coming out of it, so that thing is expired for this evening. As far as the heat race is concerned, and being heat race number 4, that crew has a lot of work and a short amount of time to get that thing up and running. Back to 2nd and 3rd, because first place is checked out right now. Jeffrey Clifton, he's just gone. 2nd and 3rd right now. We got Devin, who did take that spot away from Jacob, as Jacob's car is just feeling, it looks like it's a little loose, which, I mean, sometimes you want to set these things up loose early, and that long run could really just come on in and do you wonders. So we'll see if that does play out for the long run for him. But Devin right now, that short run car is on fire with that excellent start of the race, and he's got 4 laps here to try to make up any type of ground on Jeffrey, which I don't think he's going to do it. But now he's got a little agenda here. He's going to see what kind of car he does have. He's going to keep check on that F3 screen to see what his times look like. We see Jacob once again get loose off of turn number 2. That seems to be his treacherous corner there, as almost every time on exit we see him tail happy there as he now hits the outside of turn number 4, trying not to get too loose. Looks like he tried to put less wheel input, which allows the car to not get so free on exit, but at the same time he kind of overdid that. And actually Devin kind of slowed up there as well and puts Jacob right back on the bumper, and he makes a little bit of bumper contact. Be careful, that was onto his left rear quarter, which that could have actually turned if he grabbed that bumper just fine. But Jacob with a high entry but low exit here, and he's going to have some excellent speed. Devin put a huge block. Getting a good little practice with that. And oh, Jacob touched the right rear tire of Devin. It's going to send him way up the track, and there's going to be about 4 car lengths back of Devin with the final lap. So I think it's going to all but set him in 3rd place here. He's going to make one more little stab at it. But going back to your race leader, Jeffrey Clifton, exiting turn number 4 for the final lap in the final heat. We'll take your checker flag as he wins there. In 2nd place, Devin Medeiros. 3rd place, Jacob Torman. 4th place, Robert Gray. 5th place, looks like it's going to be Skyler. And 6th place will be Liam Atwood, which for Liam, that's, we see a huge trend there with the outside car on the lead row. They're having some issues, but that is your 4 heat races. We have a little bit of warm-up session, and for you guys, we're going to take a little short commercial break, and then we'll come back at you when the feature is ready to go for the AdminBoxx 65.
You want to be the best. You can't settle for the rest. There's a reason that McConey Setup Shop is trusted by more virtual and real-world tracks and companies than any other setup shop in Irish. With partners such as Stafford Motor Speedway, the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, Five Flags Speedway, Speed 51, and more. When you want something done right, you go to the experts at McConey Setup Shop.
With setups available for most series on both asphalt and dirt, built by a team of professional builders consisting of some of the top talents on the service, McConey Setup Shop LLC has what you need to hit the track with confidence. Head over to McConeySetupShop.com and learn why McConey Setup Shop is the official setup shop of Richmond Raceway Esports and is partnered with some of the largest names in virtual and real racing.
And remember, at McConey Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
All right, guys, and welcome back. We are exiting the final few seconds here of the warm-up session before we get to the AdminBoxx 65 for a 65-lap main event race here at Martinsville Speedway for the Sunday night East Coast Touring Modified Series presented by Martin Sports Apparel, who's the premier sponsor for this racing series. As you've seen, since warm-up has ended, the night has fallen over the entire track. The track temps have dropped by over 2 degrees, and we're looking for a pretty darn good race here. And we got a pretty large lineup. Currently sitting on the grid, up to 24 cars can take entrance. We did see a couple cars exit the racetrack and warm up, so I'm not sure if the car just wasn't feeling right. But we did see Garrett Austin, who didn't have any practice or qualifying time set. He got wrecked out basically on lap 1 in the heat race. Exited his night early. And then we saw Ken Zeems, who put some excellent pressure on Joseph Mitchell there in heat race number 1. He actually is backed out and left the track as well. So we have 2 drivers that have taken official times there in the heat races that are not going to make it tonight. And then we see one other guy, Zach Rinker. He was one of those guys that was looking to make the race and just could not get on the track. But needless to say, what's going to go over the grid here? Hayden Hill is going to take your top spot here in your feature. Jeffrey Clifton going to be in second. Campbell Delaney in third. Caden Tufts in fourth. Rayson Vernon fifth. Aiden Christensen sixth. 7th place goes to Tyler Green. 8th place goes to Devin Medeiros. 9th place will go to Joseph Mitchell. 10th will be Brad Carpenter. 11th, Jason Cameron Jr. 12th goes to Jacob Torman. 13th place was going to be Ken Zeems, but now it'll be Miles Morse. 14th place will be Preston DeMello. 15th place will be Robert Gray. 16th place will be Richard Maligani. 17th place, Aiden McDonald. And Kyle White's going to be in 18th. Skylar Sheridan, 19th. Joshua Clemens, 20th. Austin Garrett did not make the race, and Andrew Major is going to round out your field. And then we got about a half a lap before the pace truck. Actually, the pace truck's going to dip off here any moment as he comes over to the entrance of pit road, which not many tracks have that in turn number 3. Martinsville is one of them because it is a really tight paperclip track. Aiden Hill ready to press the go pedal at any second here. Green flag is out.
Green.
These guys are underway. Pretty clean start as they remain side by side. No real hiccups here entering turn number 1. Don't see the second place car have any issues. We're actually 3 wide already in the second row as they settle that out real quick. A lot of cars left and right, but don't see any accidents happen at the moment. Aiden Hill does a little push up on the 15 of Jeffrey Clifton. Does clear him on the exit of turn number 4. We got a caution in the back already. Andrew Major, turn number 1. Gets into there really hot and self-spins it, which we saw him self-spin also in the heat race that he was in. So, he was in the back. He did spin out in front of a car, which caused the iRacing officials to throw out the caution. Nobody else was hurt. It was just a self-spin. Caution number 1 out already on lap number 2. Pretty interesting start there. We saw Jeffrey, we saw Aiden Hill. Huge pressure there already, and he actually got passed up. Actually, no, he did not. Aiden Hill still has the lead. I'm sorry. Jeffrey Clifton's going to be in second here. Excellent pressure there on the I side, and during the heat races, we saw that second place was sliding up the track. We didn't know what that was about, but he did not follow that trend, and gave a good run for his money, but just could not get to him before that caution came out so early on, which a lot of these guys got their little cobweb, so to speak, shaken off, especially the ones that were in heat races number 1 and 2, because they had the longest break, and so they'll be antsy to get back going for the race. Hopefully we get a much longer run here. We got about 2 laps of caution before we should be able to go back to green flag as long as iRacing deems it safe to do so. Quick shout out to iRacing, iFlag iRacing. I always get that backwards. iFlag iRacing, one of those products where it makes your cockpit feel like you're at the track with caution lights, green flag lights, checkered flag. It simulates all the kind of flags out there in the racing world, brings them right to your sim box, your driver's seat. So highly recommend going and checking out iflyguyRacing.com. We see these guys warming up their tires quite substantially. It is a cold track out there. It's only 67, 66 degrees, partly cloudy. Winds aren't really too much of a problem. They're sustaining within 1 to 2 miles an hour, so there's no crosswind effect or anything. It's just getting these tires warmed up. And when you run a lot of pace laps, you can't get them warmed up, so you'll see a lot of these guys just weaving and wobbing and trying to do anything to get the heat going. You might see some people gas it and brake it, because the brake rotors do provide some type of heat to the front tire. A little bit of an advantage there if you can get it going. But you see the pace truck dip back down. Aiden Hill ready to go once again. As you see them, they are single file. It's not like a NASCAR major touring event. Is there? Ooh, green flag is up. We had a huge hit there in the back in 5th or 6th place. Looks like Racing Vernon got checked in hard by Devin Medeiros in the rear end. No problem there though, as these guys got metal to metal on the bumpers. They keep it going straight, no problem at all. Everybody else is still really single file. No one's really making any moves just yet. Got some pressure going around the track, but for the most part, they are just single file. And as I say that, I'm watching Skyler in turn number 3 get loose right in front of, looks like Liam Atwood. Slight contact was made, but no wreck, no caution. So they keep it going, no problem there at all. Going to check back up here with the front half of the field, and we see a position change. Looks like Tyler Green got passed up, and Joseph Mitchell around in turn number 2. Heavy contact into several cars. Caution is out for the second time this evening on lap number 8. Joseph Mitchell hit Jason Cameron Jr., and we saw the front end of Preston DeMello go sky high for just a moment as the tire on tire. That never bodes well for the suspension anyways, and so there might be some damage done to Preston as well, but 3 cars with some pretty decent impact, all started by Joseph Mitchell just getting a little slideways entering turn number 1. Could not control the car, and just, it was unfortunate, you know. Skyler had nowhere to go. Preston had nowhere to go. It just kind of came back down the track and right in front of these guys. It's really, really tough there, really tough. It looks like actually a 4th car might have been involved as I'm looking through here. It's kind of hard to... Richard Malagani actually tagged the back of the 21 as well, just a little bit. Actually, Jason Cameron Jr. As he got in the back of Joseph Mitchell as well. So technically 4 cars involved in that second one, a little bit harder impact. But we got 8 laps underneath the belt now, as the laps do kind of tick down as we're under caution as well. So no little short stint. Tires weren't really warmed up, so you're guys going to have to keep these tires warmed up. You'll probably see a lot more weaving and wobbing, trying to get as much grip as you can for the next restart so you can throw it in there. So total 5 cars currently with some damage. See Joseph Mitchell made a pit stop. We see a couple other guys actually in pit road as well. Robert Gray is one of them. We see Richard Malagani taken to a stall 3-2-1 on the dot. Same thing for Gray, 3-2-1. Getting his, actually overshot the stall a little bit, but getting his tires changed now. Yeah, I'm used to the double file, so seeing the single file is like a little bit of retro feel to me, but I know that's how these wheel-in modified series does it. In a lot of cases, especially on short tracks, people prefer it because it allows for a little bit easier of a restart and less caution, so a little bit of a safer option. I enjoy seeing it personally. See Racing Vernon really getting on that wheel in his suitless suit, really just getting on that wheel as they're getting ready for this restart. And for some reason now they're going to be double file. I'll have to check with the admins on that one, but it was single file to begin with, and now we're going to do a double file restart. Didn't see any admin commands on the race chat, so doing a little curveball on me here. But let's see if we can, if Aiden Hill can take a good advantage of this. We saw Jeffrey Clifton do a really good start there that first time, but not this time. Aiden jumps it big. Not illegal or anything, but that was just an excellent restart. Ooh, heavy contact, self-spin number 12. Multiple cars involved. Caution is out again. There's a 4-car, 5-car pileup entering turn number 1. All started by the number 12. I think he might have had some help, though. I did say self-spin, but I don't think that was actually looking back at it. That was Devin Medeiros. he actually came down across the nose of Racing Vernon. Just thought he might have had him cleared for some reason, and Racing said, nope, I'm here. That sent the 12 heavy into the outside wall. And then the 88 looks like just could not get down in time of Joshua Clemens. Heavy contact in the left front there of Devin, and then the 60 and the 19 as well. Just heavy contact. And then after them, there's actually 2 more cars that had wrecked that I didn't even see until now. Oh my gosh, Aiden McDonald just ARCA braked the 31 out of nowhere. Just destroyed his rear end, square impact. That was heavy contact into Jacob Torman. Spun him around 180, and it caused a casualty of the 24. And also brought in a couple other cars too, so there's more like 9 to 10 cars involved with 2 separate incidences. Just overall chaos entering turn number 1 here on this restart, which was brought out on lap number 13. That's a really big lap. I think we saw a car go upside down too as well. Yeah, we saw Aiden McDonald. He flipped it over on his lid and went turtle style. Traffic jam entering turn number 2. Just chaos everywhere. Hopefully a lot of these cars can get repaired, because that's a lot of cars injured early on. We still got, 50 laps or so left, just over 50 laps. Actually, at this point in time, it is exactly 50 laps left. So, that's crazy, though. Lots of cars injured early on, and it is Martinsville. It is one of those tracks that, as I was saying in practice for those who were there, this track, at least in my experience, has produced more cautions just because of the nature of the fast straightaways and tight corners. And that wreck there especially showcased that theory, as we saw a couple drivers just throw into the corners deep as possible, and that's where you're seeing guys get loose, is usually on entrance and not exit, more so than not. We'll probably see them go back to single file restarts. I would think so anyway, since they at least have that option to do so. We'll probably see what happens next time by. I think the caution lights will be out on the truck next time by. So right now it looks like we got a couple cars going to be taking some wave rounds, potentially 3 to 4 cars right now in position for wave around. Before we go back to green flag, though, I do want to do another shout out to one of our amazing sponsors here. This time is going to be the Butt Kicker. Butt Kicker, as I always say, at least on our broadcast, it's that D-box like feel to the seat, where it kind of provides that motion of the car hitting every single bump, and the engine sounds and everything coming from underneath you rather than just from your headset. Kind of a different world experience, if you ask me. So thebuttkicker.com /AFF equals 35 Nerd TV at checkout to secure your 20% off on all their products. But as I say that, we see the wave around cars go a little bit early, and then Aiden Hill takes the green flag once again. They are single file, and a caution for some reason out right away as soon as they take the green flag. I'm assuming it was for that really slow car on the front stretch. Aiden McDonald just really not up to speed. He was right up against the inside wall on the front stretch as the green flag was out, and I think iRacing thought that was too close for comfort. Brought the caution out already, so they didn't even have a chance that time, which is really unfortunate, because these guys are spent all this time practicing. They really want to get going, and then something like that happens. That's just really unfortunate.
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution is out.
Let me see here. Oh, yep. Yeah, there's the... Just letting everyone get all single filed back out here. They thought they were a green flag, and then they weren't, so a little bit of confusion there. But Aiden Hill is the only one really... Aiden Hill is really appreciating this, because, of course, he's in the top spot. Getting word from admins, too, that at least race control anyways, iRacing had a little bit of an issue with that caution. Apparently that caution wasn't supposed to be thrown, and it was thrown, I guess, on accident. I'm not entirely sure of the scenario there, but a little bit of an issue on iRacing's end, which I do believe that was the case of that car being really slow on the front stretch. But needless to say, we're back underneath the caution. Currently sitting on lap number 22 of 65 laps of the AdminBoxx 65. See if we have any lucky dogs here as they kind of cycle around. We saw 4 cars were cycling around right before the green flag had come out, and we'll see if there's any other ones out here. It looks like currently, by my books, it looks like Skylar should be in consideration for the lucky dog. We'll see if he should be taking that wave around here in just a lap or so. But like I said, Aiden Hill is kind of really appreciating this. Jeffrey Clifton is getting some good practice off of Aiden's restarts. He knows where he's pressing that go pedal now. So if he can kind of maximize that timing and get a good run there on the top of turn 1 and 2, he might have something for him. He's looking pretty sporty, though with a colder tire, it's hard to make that middle line grip. So we'll see if he can do that. And it looks like most of the cars, too, have been repaired for the most part. There's a couple cars in pit road now, like Joseph Mitchell and Devin Demirios. They're making some last-minute repairs that they need to get these cars to where they need to run competitively. Looks like we're going to be doing another single-file restart this time, and hopefully the cars are all in line in conjunction with each other so we don't see any iRacing thrown cautions again. That was just really unfortunate in one of those cases where that car was not going to be in anyone's issue until turn 1. I guess iRacing questioned it and threw it out there. But it is what it is, and so we're going to get these things wound up one more time. Hopefully we can get a long green flag run going this time. We see a lot of guys getting their tires warmed up. This should be the final pace lap here. Pace truck's currently in turn number 3. Aiden Hill still on your point. I'm going to run over the top 10 real quick before we go ahead and go green. Jeffrey Clifton in 2nd. Caden Tufts in 3rd. Campbell Delaney in 4th. Rayson Vernon in 5th. Tyler Green in 6th. Aiden Christensen in 7th. Brad Carpenter 8th. Miles Morrison 9th. And Preston DeMello currently rounding out your top 10. We do see the pace lights are out on the truck. That means he's going to be dipping down in the turn number 3 entrance of pit road and really wanting this long green flag run. We still see Devin and Joseph still in pit road, so those cars might be hurting pretty bad as they're not on the track yet for the green flag. Going to be the 4th start of this evening. Green is out. Aiden with a good restart once again, which he's going to need that. Gets about a 2-car length advantage over 2nd place of Jeffrey Clifton. Going through the field, looks like they're all single file for the most part until you get back to 10th place, and we see almost side-by-side action. I think we have a car in the wall again. Andrew Major, turn number 2, backed into the wall. He's not in front of anybody. He's going to dip it down below the pit road wall, and he's going to exit this evening. That car is not handling well at all. He dips it low just in time before the leaders get to him, preserves the green flag as it stays out for us, and we're going to get some green flag action here. Heavy pressure going back to the race leader of Aiden, Jeffrey Clifton, all over his bumper there, exiting turn number 4. Caution is out for the 4th time this evening. Aiden McDonald spins on a lap number 23, hits the outside retaining wall in turn number 4 as he just really overdrives the corner, gets into the marbles. And as every racer knows, when you get those cold, bumpy marbles, which is, old rubber shredded off the tire, once you get those on your tires, you have no grip, and then the car was just done for. And then actually had some contact as well by the number 2 of Liam Atwood, who's been in unfortunate situations now twice this evening. Just completely, wrong place at the wrong time type of scenario. Gets involved with them, but that, once again, on lap number 23, will bring out your... Actually, 27 will bring out your fourth caution of this evening. As these guys are now hitting lap number 30. So we're getting close to that halfway point. We're just a few laps shy of halfway. Another quick sponsor shout out, this time to Stay Tuned Sports Podcast. They do a lot of real world podcasts, no matter what sport you like for the most part. You got your soccer, your basketball, your baseball, football right now, which is a huge topic with the playoffs going on. We see the Bengals and Joe Burrow going to be taking the the helm there for the Bengals in the Super Bowl. So, if you're trying to catch up on any news like of that nature, check out Stay Tuned Sports Podcasts. Sometimes they have some big names on there providing some really good detail, some behind-the-scenes stuff. So, highly recommend you go check them out. Great group of guys to listen to. Should be about 2 laps away before we go back for our 5th restart this evening. Like I said earlier, Aiden Hill kind of really approving of all this because less pressure on his back bumper when you're running pace laps, right? And he's saving his tires too. He now knows that 15 behind him, that black and yellow Jeffrey Clifton, is onto something. He's been on his tail, especially that last little set of green flag laps. He's got to really change something up or make something happen to keep him behind him, because that's going to be a huge amount of pressure as we are officially, at least when they get to the backstretch, are going to be halfway done with this event at the AdminBoxx 65. Now the winds are only about 2 miles an hour still. Track temp still sitting about 67 miles an hour, or 67 degrees. Wow, sorry about that. And then the weather's still 65 degrees in the air. Nothing like we saw at the 24 Hours of Daytona that ended earlier today, which their temps were down in the low 30s for Florida. That was the coldest IMSA has ever ran a series. So they don't have that kind of cold weather per se, but it's a little chilly here in Martinsville for these guys. Being in the wintertime and whatnot. Pace lights do come out on the truck, and these guys are throwing me off. Now they're back to double file, so we've seen 2 single files and 2 doubles at this point in time now. Aiden Hill's going to have to change up his restarts a little bit to keep that 15 of Jeffrey Clifton to his rear side and not to his side panel. We've seen some of these guys take a good shot at the outside middle line there. Unless it was the heat race on the main start, because I was probably in some issues, but needless to say, green flag, and there it is. Aiden with a really good restart, a little bit earlier than what he usually been pressing the gas pedal. Gets him a good advantage, and 15 just gets so close to the bumper. He gets such a good drive entering the corner. Caution is out for the 5th time this evening, as the pace truck hasn't stopped, and Andrew Major once again brings out the caution. He didn't even get to turn number 1. He ramped up the outside wall on the front stretch, and then Liam Atwood, for the 3rd time this evening, wrong place, wrong time. Andrew just destroys his right front wheel, essentially coming across his nose, and Andrew eventually self-spins or spins out in the middle, 1 and 2, gets stuck on the curbing. He has at least got his tow for his car. He's got a few minutes of towing before they can make repairs, but that guy now with the 3rd caution out of the 5 total out of this event. That means they might be looking at him here. They might be talking to his crew or figuring out what's going on, because that's just it's really weird to see one guy bring out that many cautions. That car is just obviously not handling well, but hopefully this time around the crew can get it fixed up and get this thing going, because a lot of these guys are now probably getting a little frustrated. They're trying to make up positions that are sitting like 10th, 9th, 8th place. That are like, hey, I have a top 5 car, but I can't show it. They really want to get something going, and they can't because they're throttled by all these cautions. Currently now on lap number 37, so we're definitely way past the halfway point at this time. So time's ticking. Time is ticking. Under 30 laps left. These guys want to go. Seeing a little bit of race chat here in the chat box, and it's I think patience might be running a little thin. We'll find out as the race continues on here. Currently sitting looking at the results page. The first person that's going to be a lucky dog is 8 laps down, which will be Andrew Major, which he currently was the one who brought the caution. I do believe that's going to default him to not getting that lucky dog, so it should bring out Aiden McDonald, who is 11 laps down. He should be moved up back to 10. We'll see how that wording goes there. But that's still, he's got 1 position to make up, which is going to be Mr. Majors. And if Andrew can't get back on the track, then he's probably going to secure that 1 spot anyways, and that's going to be it for him. So he's got to keep it clean, and he'll maintain the spot there currently. It looks like in 19th place. We'll see what this time goes around with the restart scenario. We've seen 2 double files and 2 single files. Pace lights should be out on the truck this time by, which they are. Looks like they're going to go single file this time. So there'll be 3 single files and 2 double file restarts. Aiden Hill is getting the best practice possible for restarts, man. Being the 5 cautions already on lap number 39 at this point, so he just has a handful of laps to kind of maintain Mr. Clifton. Let's see if he can do it once again here for the 6th start, including the original green flag. Waiting to press the go pedal. Once again, he gets another early jump, but Jeffrey said, I got you this time. He's only held him through a car length here. Dives it into turn 1, nice and clean, smooth sailing. Everyone hugs that curb for the most part. Everyone exits turn number 1 and 2 without issues, it looks like. Andrew Major has joined back onto the racing surface as well. Let's see if that car is back up and handling fine. We're single file all the way through to the race leader. Aiden Hill's got some work to do on exit. Oh, we see a little bit of a, I don't know if it was a wall tap there by Racing Vernon, but it's going to allow Brad Carpenter to take over that place there. He's going to be sitting as your new top 5 place. Yep, cleans that pass right there with a good launch on exit as well. Aiden Hill still about a car length out over Mr. Clifton. So he's running pretty good right now. Let's see if he can keep it going there. Everybody else is single file, it looks like, again, for the most part, going back through the field. Don't see really any issues at all. So I'm going to keep it on the race leaders here because this is where the best action to know. Hayden Hill, contact there by Clifton in the back. Kind of sends him up the track, and that's going to present Jeffrey Clifton with a shot at the race lead. And 3rd place sitting right behind him of Caden. He wants to get back up there because he was leading every single lap of practice as your top contender. And he's been in the top 5, just hasn't been able to get those spots. And he does pass Aiden Hill for 2nd. And right on the rear end of Jeffrey Clifton here as he's looking to take that top spot here on lap number 45 of 65. Just as you go back to the field, it's huge save by the 23 as well. Nice job on saving that. 31 also making some contact on the wall. Quick little 3-wide action there. Ooh, 31 hits the 23. Doesn't cause any wreck there. Oh, we got a car in the wall in the front stretch. They keep it going straight. Trying to figure out who that is. Looks like it was Preston DeMello. Hits the wall on corner. And actually, there was a car rolling upside down. Racing Vernon. He actually drove it heavy into turn number 3 pit entrance and nailed the inside pit wall and flipped it over. Really not sure what that's all about. That was kind of a little crazy event there. A couple little incidences, and then I've never seen someone enter turn number 3 pit road and flip their car. There's a first for everything, but going back to your 6th and 5th place, excellent battle here. Tyler Green trying to take it over Aiden Christensen. They kind of get it single filed out now, but they had some really good dodge and a weave in there for just a moment. Kicking back to the race lead now. Jeffrey Clifton still getting some pressure from Caden Tufts. And a new contender for the top 3 is Campbell Delaney. He's now within a car length of 2nd place, as these 3 guys are putting on some serious amount of speed late in this run. We're going on to lap number 50, so 16 laps to go in the AdminBoxx 65. Caden Tufts is all but there. He just needs one good exit. I think he's going to be a good contender here. Actually pushed it up a little bit, and it gave Jeffrey a little bit of extra clearance. Enter turn number 3, dives it in deep that time. Caden does. Cannot get it down to the curb, which we know that's where the speed's at in Martinsville. He's going to need to get it down there and get a good launch on exit to do anything with Mr. Clifton, as we know he's got a really bad, fast car, as he's actually pulled away just a little bit on that corner exit. Caution is out actually for Miles Morris in the number 1. Turn number 1 on lap 51. He actually got contact, it looks like, by the number 28 of Preston DeMello on the front stretch. Just kind of hooked him in the left rear twice. I don't know if there was something going on between them two, but the first time looked kind of questionable. The second time almost looked intentional. It's hard to tell. He could have been just trying to regroup his car, but That second time really sent the one heavy contact into the outside wall. Miles Morris destroyed the right front wheel in that thing. Heavy suspension damage, I would say, at least. So he's got some work to do to get that car going. As you see him on pit road right now, but the patience is wearing thin on some of these guys, and if that wreck right there doesn't really show it, then I would expect maybe one more time something like that happening, because it's just the nature of Martinsville, right? And you had now your sixth caution in a matter of 50 laps. So these guys are really wanting to just get this thing down to the end at this point with all these cautions, and patience wearing thin at this point, especially just because of the cautions alone. Not so much the racing. The race has been pretty good, but I also want to do a quick shout out this time to Martin Sports Apparel, website martinsports906.com. Use promo code SUPERNERD for 25% off on their website. I have one of their shirts, one of their sporting apparel shirts, and that material it's second to none. Highly recommend. It feels really cool, really comfortable to wear. And their gloves too. You hear Dustin each and every week here, usually presenting this race to you guys. He has a set. Joseph Mitchell on the track, he has a set. Miles Morris, I'm pretty sure he's wearing his set right now. A few others guys as well. That product is awesome, man. It's one of those deals to where, like, my hands are sweating just by broadcasting. That's just nature of me, right? But these gloves keep your hands sweat free. You do 200 laps, and you take these things off, and your hands are not pruny. They're solid. They're good to go. Quite an impressive product, especially on the glove end and their shirts and just everything they have. It looks pretty cool. Custom designs all the way through for teams, and the shirts are, they're one of a kind. Martinsports906.com. Once again, check them out. Super Nerd, 25% off at checkout. I would recommend at least getting a pair of gloves, if not anything else, just to help out the local brand that helps out a lot of these drivers. It is the premier sponsor of the East Coast Touring Series here on Sundays. Pace truck lights are out. They are now double file, so it's going to be 3 doubles and 3 singles, which I think this is a trend here. It's like every other time. But Aiden, feel bad for him. He's now sitting in 4th. He's got some work to do if he wants to get back up there. His car just looked like it was kind of tapering off a little bit there in the longer run as we finally saw one. Outside of that, we got Caden Tufts really wanting to get up there in that top spot, putting some huge pressure over Clifton. Clifton with a nice restart, just jumps it straight up to the high side to maximize his speed in their turn number. And we have another caution. Yep.
All right, man.
4 or 5 cars wrecked this time around. Another car upside down, the number 13. I saw it there in just the corner of my eye. It looked like, Richard Malagani just squares the 24 right in the rear end, the left rear side of the car. 24 being, looks like, Aiden Christensen just got rear-ended by Malagani, set the 24 around right in the middle of traffic, caused a little bumper car domino effect. It caused the number 13 of Aiden McDonald to turtle twice now, which that is... How many times can you say you flipped over twice in one race? So I'm seeing a lot of different odd things happen in this race. This 7th caution for this evening. I think Aiden actually took the tow. He's still going to try to run this thing out, but that car being flipped over and towed in the middle of turn number 2, I'm sure he's going to be quite a few more laps down before he gets that thing going. He's already 27 down, and he's out there plugging for his sponsors, man. I love the dedication. I'm one of those drivers who like to keep it going as long as you can. He likes to race even if it's, that far back, but really bad feels. It's nothing that's been his fault. It's just been, he's just been there, kind of like with Liam. He's just wrong place, wrong time every time. So, but we're going to be on lap 60 next time by. We're probably going to get the green flag with 5 to go. 5-lap shootout for these guys in the AdminBoxx 65 presented by Martin Sports. It's been a wild, crazy event with the 7 cautions here. They've had one fast repair, so I mean, I'm sure over half the field has used it by this point. Probably more so, but outside of that, you're seeing a lot of the front bumper bar being bent up. A couple of the rear bars are bent up, and if you're in the 13th case, your whole car's bent up. It's crazy. There's no limit to the tires, which is good because a lot of these people have needed that. Pace lap is actually going to be extended by a lap here, so we're going to have a 4-lap shootout, I imagine, at this point. If they go here in the next 2 laps, Kyle White looking like he's going to be kind of waving around a little early here. Lucky dog would be Jacob Torman. He's 1 lap down. We got a couple other guys that are 1 lap down too, like Liam Atwood, Richard Malagani, which Richard did cause that wreck. I think he's going to be EOLL. Preston DeMello also 1 lap down, and Miles Morse, who got involved in that wreck, also 1 lap down. So, which actually we see him in second in line here. Pace lights are out on the track, or on the truck rather, and they're just going to kind of hang out here in front for a little as they go around the pace truck. Now at least 1 car does. Yep, there goes Miles as well. So 2 cars will wave around there. Try to get back up to the tail end of the field before they go green flag. Let's see if we can get these final 4 laps fully squared away with green flag action. It's actually going to be 3 laps. They're going to be restarting on lap number 63. Go pedal. Jeffrey Clifton with a decent start there over Caden Tufts. 3rd place, 4th place, all single file. 5th place, or 6th and 7th are going to be side by side. Brad trying to take over 6th place. Robert Gray, who's kind of remained off the screen for the most part. He's got this car really nice and clean. We see Brad make a good pass on the 30 car there, nice and clean. A little bit of pressure, but he should be able to clear him here in turn number 1 and 2. Going back up to the leaders where the action is at. Jeffrey Clifton on fire right now by Caden Tufts. And that 88 white, black, and blue machine is... Oh, Jeffrey slides up the track. Caden gets a good run. Not strong enough. White flag is out. Gets to the back bumper bar. Jeffrey tagged in the back, and there's a domino effect. And since Jeffrey way up the track, Caden's going to take over the lead. The 9-car 3rd place is going to be right to his inside and clears him for sure. Doesn't get to the leader, and Caden Tufts is going to take your checkered flag for this evening. Campbell Delaney in 2nd. Jeffrey Clifton ends up in 3rd, and that was a crazy finish to this evening's race. One of those finishes I did not really expect there. Caden Tufts does take the top spot after leading that practice. He finally led his lap, which was the last lap, the only one that counted. Crazy stuff there at the end there. I'm sure Jeffrey's not in the best mindset after that one, but still gets the podium finish. We'll talk to him about it here shortly as these guys all wind down and get to pit road. We're going to see Caden kind of do some burnouts for us here on the front stretch. We see Delaney's kind of sitting there before the start-finish line just watching what could have been in his 2nd place position. We'll also talk to him here shortly. Caden whipping it around, doing some burnouts around a couple guys. The 24 feels like he needs to do some burnouts as well. Aiden Christensen there. Let's see, Aiden Christensen finished in... Going over my chart here. He finished in 5th place, so not terrible finish for him as well. I'm going to go over the race results brought to you by Stay Tuned Sports Podcast while we wait for the post-race interviews here. Caden Tufts going to round out the field in 1st place. Campbell Delaney in 2nd. Jeffrey Clifton in 3rd. Aiden Hill in 4th. The other Aiden Christensen in 5th. Brad Carpenter, 6th place for you guys. 7th place belongs to Robert Gray. 8th place belongs to Joshua Clemens. 9th goes to Kyle White. And then the rest of the field is 1 lap down or more. 10th place will be Jacob Torman. 11th, Liam Atwood with lots of bad luck for him this evening. 12th place will be Miles Morse. 13th will go to Tyler Green. Richard Malagani in 14th. Preston DeMello in 15th. Skylar Sheridan in 16th. Rayson Vernon 17th. 18th goes to Andrew Major with all of his issues that he was having tonight. 19th, Aiden McDonald, who flipped it over twice. That's got to be a record of some kind. 20th place belongs to Jason Cameron Jr. 24th, Medeiros. 22nd is the last car on the track was Joseph Mitchell. Ends up 53 laps down of tonight's 65. So got 12 completed laps underneath his belt, and then he had to park it early, probably due to one of those wrecks he got caught up in. I think it was the second wreck that kind of messed him up. I know there were 7 cautions, kind of hard to pinpoint which one off the top of my head. I think it was the second one, but man, oh man. So we're going to kick this thing over to the Martin Sports Podium post-race show, so we can kind of highlight everything, talk to the drivers, and see what their thoughts, what their takes were on this event. Let's see if we can bring over third place. This was Jeffrey Clifton. Let's see if we can see him in the chats just yet. Jeffrey Clifton, he is available. I'm going to bring him in for you guys right now. Jeffrey Clifton, you got a copy, man?
I do. How are you?
I'm doing just fine, man. That's wild finish there. You had, once you got around Aiden, your car was the car to beat for sure. Caden came in on a late run there, and after all those cautions got finally settled out, that final little 4 laps or 3 laps, the chrome horn was used. Tell us how the race went for you, and what was your thoughts on the final restart?
The car just got tight on that last couple of laps. And, Caden sent it in there and moved me the same way I moved Aiden before. That's racing. I wish I could have held him off, but that's all right. I'll take third. We'll have a good points night tonight.
Yeah, good points night for sure. I mean, if anything, yeah, you take that third place, you use the points toward the championship. That's the best mindset you can have of that. And yeah, short track racing did happen. Tell us the first half of the race. I know you had a couple really good restarts to contend with Aiden, and what finally got you around Aiden there?
Well, there towards the middle of the race, I got a good run on him, and I peeked on the inside, and he started to block me. So I just kind of pushed him into the corner a little bit to wash him up and get around him. It seemed to work out all right. I think he finished behind me, but he's third in points right now. I just want to make sure that I, finish ahead of the guys behind me so I can extend this points lead.
Well, doing third is not going to do you any bad there per se, but yeah, Aiden definitely finished behind you in 4th place. But I'm gonna let you go celebrate. But first, I know you got a little bit of TV time here, so give a shout out to any sponsors, anyone that you want to thank for this evening's race.
Yeah, obviously, thank you guys first for putting the broadcast on. We really appreciate that. Martin Sports Apparel being our primary sponsor, they're the reason why we're racing here tonight, and we really appreciate that. We love to come out here on Sunday nights and race, and I'd like to thank Evan for putting this all on. There's a lot of work that goes into running a league on iRacing. I know I run one myself, and it's quite a bit of work, so we really appreciate what he does. He had his hands full tonight, so looking forward to next week. We'll see what we can do there.
Yeah, appreciate those kind words. And yeah, it's definitely not easy to run a league for sure. You might think it's just building a schedule and getting drivers, but there's also more into doing so. But congratulations on your 3rd place finish at the AdminBoxx 65 in Martinsville. Enjoy the rest of your night, man.
All right. Thank you. Have a good night.
All right, so that was your 3rd place finisher, Jeffrey Clifton. Let's see if we can get Campbell Delaney in here as he is your 2nd place finisher. Campbell, you got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Campbell, man, that was a rough race. There were 7 total cautions. You ended up in 2nd. You kind of got gifted 2nd place a little bit with the chrome horn used on Jeffrey there. Walk us through that final restart and how you ended up in 2nd.
Basically tried to give some room, give some patience, just watching for that to happen, because I know in most races it will happen. Pretty much, yeah, it was just waiting, because I figured it would eventually happen. Waited out and got lucky with it and took advantage of it.
Yeah, that you did for sure. I just have a question too on like the mindset here, just because of the 7 cautions in a 65 lap event and everything that transpired. What was the mindset like in the middle of the race when you kept seeing caution after caution? It was like one of those deals where you're like, were you getting a little impatient because you can't like get where you need to go? Was that kind of holding you back a little bit, or were you kind of thankful for those cautions? Like, what was your position on that?
Definitely preferred the single file cautions. Double file definitely messed me up a few times there. But the 7 cautions got us through most of that race, and just needed to stay up front. That was the mindset, really, was just stay ahead of all of the cautions and where everything's going to happen. All the big moves are going to be done. So, yeah, just basically stay out of the trouble and try and run as clean as I could.
And kind of back up here, I'm seeing some little bit of post-race action from Evan saying that single file may be the way to go from this point forward. So that might be best for everyone's interest. But yeah, so and I know you want to get in with your team and kind of celebrate and do your thing here for the rest of this evening before you call it quits. But I know you got some people to thank as well. You got any sponsors, anyone out there in particular watching that you want to say hi or say thanks to?
Yes, I do. I got Atlantic Hardcom, Pothier Motors, Peak Electric, especially Caden Tufts. He designed my car for tonight, and he's helped me out so much throughout all the iRacing experience, and just can't thank him enough for helping me get through all of it and get ready for all these big races and be able to participate in these, and especially race with him. He's a good buddy of mine in real life, and we race together, and he's one of the cleanest drivers I know and one of the best ones I know. So just really thankful that we can do this all together and have fun.
Excellent, man. Yeah, and he did a good job on your car. I agree that car looked pretty sporty. It looked really nice out there with the colors. So again, congratulations on your second place finish. Go enjoy it with your team, and yeah, we'll see you next week, man.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. And then that's going to bring our race winner, just mentioned by Campbell, is going to be Caden Tufts. You got a copy, man?
Yeah, I got you.
Congratulations on the win in the AdminBoxx 65. I know you put on some huge lap times in practice and didn't get the qualifying spot that you wanted, and then it took you all the way up until under 5 to go to get to the to back to P number 1, actually the last lap for that matter. Walk us through that last restart and how you got to the win.
Yeah, that last restart was a single file one. I thought we were locked in the top 3, us 3, Jeff, me, and Campbell. I ended up getting not the greatest restart, but we managed to have enough tires left to get back up to Jeff, but ended up he was a little tight, and I guess I wasn't ready for his checkup. I got in the rear of him. I felt really bad for him, but I mean, at least we were able to pull off a win with it. Great appearance for our first race with the series, and yeah.
Yeah, this is my first broadcast as well, so it's a first for both of us, and we're here talking to each other, so that's kind of cool. Toward the end, and that's what that was. You just, I guess you didn't expect it, and it had a little domino effect there too, with third place getting into your back bumper as well, which kind of resent Jeffrey back up the track and kind of gave you that overall position over Jeffrey entering the final lap of the race. And so what was your mindset going to that race? I know you didn't get the best qualifying time, and all those cautions kind of hold you back from getting to that spot. So what was your we're getting impatient? What was just going through your head as the cautions kept coming and coming?
My first thought was just get a good starting spot. I forgot about the invert actually, so I was like, you know what, let's do good in the heat race, get a good start, and end up being an invert. So we started 4th, but cautions may have to get in our hand here. First caution, I think we dug on the outside, got up to 3rd place. Rode there for most of the race. Then a little incident between Aiden and Jeff got there. That moved me back up to 2nd. Then after that, I was just riding for the rest and hoping for the best. And then it was just caution after caution. So we managed to have enough tires left to stick to the end.
No, you sure did. You know that one lap, which was the most important one. I know you want to go celebrate as well with the team. You got some good appraisal there by Campbell Delaney. He said that you painted his car, and I said it was a nice looking paint job out there. I imagine you did so for your own car, which also looks pretty sporty and nice out there. But any sponsors, any people watching that you want to thank right now?
Yeah, I have plenty of people. First off, I'd like to thank the team owner, Tan. He's the owner of FSM. He helped me out a lot. Not just me and him. We both switching between the team, helping each other out. He puts a lot of work into it. He's one of the reasons I'm really fast. I also like to thank LBT Pallets, Brad Water Mortgages, Kimberly Beverage Room, Guys Road Transfer, A-Rod HVAC, and JDM Broadcasting, and Campbell Aiden McDonald for coming out and running with me tonight.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, it's good to see you in the series. First race, first win. I'm sure you got more planned. So congratulations once again, and hopefully we can see you run through the rest of the series this season.
Yeah, thank you guys for putting this on. Hopefully we'll see you guys next week.
Appreciate it. Yes, sir, man. Sure will. All right, guys. There's your top three. We heard from each and every one how they thought about the cautions and how they got themselves in the position, and overall crazy race. Car flipped over twice in one event, 7 cautions, multiple lead changes. Basically anything that you could ask for happened in tonight's event. But before we set sail for tonight and closing out my first night with you guys here at the Sunday Night East Coast Touring Modified Series, I want to shout out our sponsors once again, because without them, I'm not doing it. So, Martin Sports, promo code Super Nerd for 25% off at checkout. That's at martinsports906.com. They have excellent quality products, gloves, shirts, hats, custom, one of a kind designs. So, definitely go check them out for sure. They are the premier sponsor of the series for new to trudes ourselves, if I can talk. Just overall, go check them out, please. They're awesome stuff, awesome guys. Second on the list is AdminBoxx. I've talked to them about a couple times tonight. It's a race control's favorite friend behind the scenes. Instead of having to dig through the codes, click multiple buttons to do a command, you just press one button on a box and boom, commands are done. Stress-free for the admins. It's an awesome product. Check them out on Facebook, anywhere they're out on social media. That's AdminBoxx with 2 X's. And then we got Stay Tuned Sports Podcast for all your MLB, NBA, NFL, soccer, you name it. They do podcasts for all sports of your favorite choice. They have big time names on there doing, sit downs with the groups and going in some behind the scenes details, and just Stay Tuned Sports Podcasts. Find them anywhere that you listen to your podcasts. Good set of guys. Go check them out. McConeySetupShop.com. Premier setups worked behind the scenes by a large group of guys that provide the best possible setup, race winning, proven setups. A lot of people use. They got multiple packages to get you started, to get you going into that top position, more so than probably what you've ever been, because their setups have helped me. They've helped everybody on Nerditudes. A lot of these guys out here as well. I'm sure at least one person anyways. Just the setups are amazing. Go check them out. McConeySetupShop.com. You have iFlag iRacing as well. It's the lights from the track brought into your house, into your sim rig. Gives you that ultimate real world feeling when you can't be at the track and you have to be on iRacing, which is the closest thing to actual racing out there in the sim world. Caution flags, checker flag, green light, doesn't matter. That device comes in light strips, or it comes in a box that it just blinks. It's really vibrant lights, definitely let you know what flag is on the track at all times. Great pricing as well on multiple lines of products. iFlagIRacing.com. Then your last one, Butt Kicker. I'm going to go tell you the link first. be www.thebuttkicker.com/?AFF equals 35. Use Nerd TV at checkout to secure 20% off. It's that D-box feel of your seat where you feel all the motions, the sounds, everything in a 3D-like experience. You don't have to be in an actual race car. It's a lot cheaper and you get basically the same experience. So awesome product. Highly recommend. Once again, thebuttkicker.com. All right, guys. That is it. This was a solo run by myself, covering for Dustin and Stash due to just not being here or sickness. But you'll get your normal group of guys next week. I had a lot of fun doing this with everybody. I learned a lot. It's been fun. Hopefully I was entertaining enough for you guys. If you think so, please leave a comment. Like this video. Go check us out on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. Find us anywhere under the name Nerditudes. # get your nerd on. The series is fun, man. The Sunday Night East Coast Touring Modified Series presented by Martin Sports has been a blast. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. You stay safe, and we'll catch you guys at the next racetrack.